Hi, welcome back. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I got in the latest shipment. This was more of like a continuation of my previous video because I was actually waiting for this shipment before I wanted to make the video, but I made it anyway. And I did mention that there's a big item coming for me, and that is actually this wall of mine. So why don't I talk about this first before I go about with the rest of the game here. Okay, so let me try to position this down. Okay, and then I'll start. So this wall of mine is actually a Kickstarter originally. Okay, so originally it was a Kickstarter, and actually I can't even wait to open this. I have actually played this on TTS before I even got the game. After I made the purchase, I had to wait for it to arrive, and I just couldn't wait for it. So I actually played one full game on TTS already. This is the board, very big. I think I will not really go into the game because this video is more about the stuff I got. I will make a special video just about this wall of mine because I really like this game a lot. And I'll talk a little bit about the history of the Kickstarter as well as versus the retail. So it was my decision, and it was a deliberate decision that I bought the retail version. So this is the main box, this wall of mine, the main box. Okay, and this is not from Awakened Realms, but it's from Galacta, and followed by the first official expansion, which is only from Galacta, Tales from the Ruined City. This is actually quite heavy. It's quite a heavy expansion as well. Maybe I'll just show you a little bit of what's behind. So there's quite a lot of stuff that was re-implemented from the Kickstarter, but not just re-implemented. It was improved in a way. There was a lot more balancing, and there's additional components which are not available from Kickstarter. From the sound of it, you already know why I did not buy the Kickstarter version. I was given the opportunity to buy it from someone else, and unfortunately I realized that the first expansion, the Tales from the Ruined City, actually doesn't work with the Kickstarter edition of this wall of mine. I said it didn't work because there's some components that need to be changed and replaced and things like that, and it was a lot better off getting the retail. Then what happened was there was the second expansion, the Days of the Siege, which actually purely from Galacta. So this is rather a very different type of unique game release mechanism because it has not been seen before. It's not a follow-up to the Kickstarter, but in fact the retail publisher has made a lot more stuff compared to the Kickstarter, and there's some exclusive here that you will not get at the Kickstarter. So for this, it's really some of the stuff that Kickstarter people are very envy about. And I mean, they could actually still get this box to add to the Kickstarter as well. Well, that's one of the ways to think about it. So this is also published by Galacta. In my detailed video for this wall of mine, I'll talk a little bit about the differences, I think, especially with the retail versus Kickstarter. But I think I'll just leave it as that. And yeah, this is the sleeve for the game. See, I didn't really finish using up. So for this stack, let me go through the three mini games here. Oh, by the way, I think I would want to talk a little bit about this. So normally I do not really mention any game store that actually I bought the stuff from, but this was a very nice card, and you actually get one of this almost all the time when you bought from Boarding School Games, right? I get the name right. Yeah. So there's a very personal message, handwritten, and sometimes they mention like enjoy your games and things like that. So this wall of mine was purely purchased from Boarding School Games. Boarding School Games, I have some mixed feelings about it in the past. In the past, when I first encountered them, I did find that their prices were really very good, very cheap. I would say very cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than the rest of the game stores. And I happily added a lot of stuff to my cart. In fact, I added the whole what's that Star Wars game from Fantasy Flight Games? Oh, it just suddenly escaped my mind now. I think it's some Star Wars, some Alliance or something like that. Oh yeah, anyway, I couldn't remember the name right off one, but it was a game that was very much like the Mansion of Madness, and then I actually added all the expansion, and and I was happily going to check out, and because some of them were even on a kind of like a special order, but when I realized that it's cost me a few $100s to even just ship that between US to US, I was pretty turned off, and I guess in the end I dropped that card and I didn't purchase anything from Boarding School Games. But over the time, I think they did receive some feedback about the shipping and things like that, and they have already made some changes. So there are some minimums at various level to different states where you could actually accumulate. Maybe I think the lowest was $75, but there was other tiers as well where you can get free shipping. So you can check it out. It's not an advertisement for Boarding School Games. They didn't pay me anything to say this, but this is just my honest opinion about this game store. But as you know, I have other accounts with almost every other game store as well, including GameNerdz, including Miniature Markets, as well. So it's just a mention that actually thank you very much for being able to get all these three from one single source. I didn't have to chase this thing down, and I guess I'm pretty happy, and I am definitely going to maybe drop some note on the Facebook or something like that. Definitely, well, at least mention in a Board Game Geek. They have a special thread just talking about Boarding School Games. Okay, so let's move on. So these three games are, I think the lighting is really bad. I have to really think about how to do this in the future. But anyway, let me just zoom into one of them, each of them. This is a series called Adventure Games. It's from COBBLE, which I think, if you're familiar, they publish Exit, which is a destructive escape room game. I have to mention destructive because that's really unique. Okay, be it whether it's good or bad, but but not for this case though. This case is really made in Germany. I'm really very impressed. And that this is actually a very card-based escape room where you can put about 1 to 4 players, but always escape room games have this tendency that whether it's 1 or 4, it doesn't really matter. But I think in these games it's really unique in the sense that you actually have characters, and when you play 4 players, you can each take different characters, and there are hit points as well. Yeah, so it's a little bit RPG-ish, and you actually get to enjoy a lot more with some immersion as the character. There's also 3 chapters here, which is each 90 minutes, and according to this, it looks like there's they also tell you how much decision making, storytelling, and so the replayability is an honest 3 out of 5. So after 3 of this, I guess you will not be able to play again without spoiling anything. But this is the first in the series, and there's a helper app that actually reads out the narrative, which is really great. I really love narrative that you don't have to go reading around, especially if you're like kind of the game master in the group, and you can actually get it read out quite professionally, or maybe I should say professionally, because I have not really heard the reading yet. But if it's anywhere near Tinder Grill, I'm already considered that it's like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 already. So I am interested in this series, and I suddenly just I've been trying out a lot of escape room games, although I must say the recent 2 or 3 escape room games turns out to be not that great. But I'm looking forward to this because this one has a very, very high rating. So the first in the series, I believe, is the dungeon, then followed by the volcanic island, which also features a similar layout with characters, and I think similar characteristic for this game as well. As you can see, the replayability is only 3, which is honest. I give it to them. And the third one is the Monochrome Incorporated, and this actually has a similar setup. and a similar stats as well. So 3 times 90 minutes for all 3 of it. I have pre-ordered the 4th in the series, which is, I think, is some about a hotel or something like that. It's not released yet, but it will be coming, and I'm looking forward to it. I might give make a review for this when I get a chance to go through one of them. Okay, now let's get to another game. Okay, this is Cobble and Fog. It's a game from Restoration Games, Mondo Games, for age 9+, 2 to 4 players. I think it works better at 2. That's at least what I heard. It's a short game, 2 to 40 minutes. Basically, it's kind of like a versus game. This is really the full name is actually Unmatched. So, Cobble and Fog is a version for Unmatched that contains 4 characters: the Invisible Man, Jake Can Hide, Dracula, and Sherlock Holmes. So these are totally unrelated characters, but they are very fun when you have this is kind of like a versus game where you get to make and mash different heroes and villains and bash it out, and it's really fun to have a lot of different variety. I heard from the reviews and some of the videos that this series is really fantastic. It's not really static 1v1 like things like Smash Up, or maybe things such as I'm not sure how if Sakura Arms has I don't think Sakura Arms has a map either. So this is very different. In there's kind of like a map kind of thing, and the different movements affects the turns and some actions, and I think I'm going to try this out because of so many good reviews. There are other series that contains other characters, I think even including Bruce Lee. So I know what could be cooler than that, right? So this is a pretty big box, pretty heavy. It was on offer. There was on some sort of promotion. That's why I bought it. I hope I enjoyed it. So this goes here, and these are the 2 bigger box. So the Search for Planet X. This has been on my radar for a very long time. Published by Foxtrot's Renegade Game Studio. I think you heard a lot about them. Designed by Ben Rosett and Matthew O'Malley. So this is a very heavy game. I mean heavy literally. It's not really a very heavy in the sense of the gameplay. It's a very interesting game where there's actually a circular board, and you have to publish some writings about the search for this planet, and you're all astronomer racing to score points to find the exact location of Planet X. So this, I have seen some videos. I have actually seen some research and all this. I think it's a very good game, but it was quite high on the price point in the past, so it was always like in my cart, and I'm just waiting for the price to drop, and eventually this happened, and this ends up in my collection now. I haven't opened it yet, as you can see, but I'll definitely will, and I think this is a good enjoyment for 2 to 4 players. Oh, you can even play it solo. So how cool is that? So this plays about an hour. I think it's really gonna be enjoyable. I think so. I can't wait to get a chance to pull this out the next board game meet or something like that. And like I say, this is a mini what I got. So this is the last game in the series. It is not even the main game. This is actually an expansion for the Taverns of Tiefenthal. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but anyway, this is the first expansion, Open Doors, and I thought the box would be a lot smaller. This was almost the same size as the original game, the original base game, except not as thick. The original base game is a bit thicker than this, but form factor wise is the same. So maybe it's a good design so that you can stack them up properly, put it on your shelf and stuff like that, and not having weird box size. Pretty cut base, and and there's a lot of things about this getting guests in your hotels and stuff like that. I think so. I haven't really played it yet, but it was already a very, very good game that I decided that I'm going to keep in my collection. So when the expansion is out, I can't wait to order it, and that's what happened to it. Now it's in my hands, and you can see that this brand new module mainly added a wine cellar, guest room, and oh, look at that, there's lots of bribes. Of course, cancelled. Generous rewards. Okay, so this game should be fun. I think just from the sound of it, and you know, there's a little bit of dice and things like that. It's published by a European company, I think. I'm not sure if you can see where it's made in. I don't see it there though, but okay. But anyway, the quality is quite good. You know, as you can hear, the box well wrapped and everything. And I guess maybe also it helps that this is a new release. I'm one of the first few to get my hands on this as quickly as possible because I pre-ordered, and I hope I really enjoy this. I mean, the artwork, how cool this is, right? You know, even with little things like a pigeon. Is that a pigeon or is it a puffin or something like that? And you know, I think this is a very beautiful game. I mean, just had a look at it, and you know, given all the ratings, everything, it's going to be in my collection. I don't see it leaving soon, so I'm keeping it, and I'm getting the first expansion as well. Okay, so that's all for today about new release. I'm not new release, I mean new stuff added to my inventory. So thanks for watching, and I hope to share with you more when my next shipment comes, which would likely be maybe late November, early December, definitely for Christmas. I have some big title as well again. Yep, you know, especially some of the big back orders, which games I always wanted. You know, I finally got it, and you know, it's kind of like on route now, so we shall wait for it to come. Thank you for watching, and again, if I might say so, if you like, you could just click the like, or you know, you want to see more of my unboxing review, or you know, blabbering about board games, you can always subscribe, but it's not a force, and I don't get anything out of it actually, other than, you know, the following counts goes up, which looks good, but at least you won't miss any future videos if you want to see more of it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again next time.